the vast windswept plains of Mongolia, a land of extremes where survival is a daily struggle. Here, amongst the nomadic tribes and unforgiving landscapes, a legend was born. His name would echo through history, striking fear into the hearts of his enemies and inspiring awe in his followers. Genghis Khan, the very title evoking images of thundering hooves and conquering armies. But how did a boy, born into a world of tribal conflict and constant struggle, rise to conquer such a vast empire? Join us as we delve into the remarkable life of Genghis Khan, unearthing 10 fascinating facts that illuminate the man behind the myth. This is a story of ambition, strategy, and the unyielding spirit of a true force of nature. Before the world trembled at the name Genghis Khan, there was Temujin, a name whispered amongst the tents of his nomadic tribe. Born in 1162, legend tells of a child who entered the world clutching a blood clot, an omen, some believed, of a life destined for greatness. But Temujin's early years were far from the lap of luxury. His father, a tribal chieftain, was poisoned by rivals, leaving the young boy and his family to fend for themselves in the unforgiving steppes. Exiled, hunted, and facing constant hunger, Temujin developed a keen instinct for survival. These trials, though cruel, proved to be the crucible in which his character was forged. He learned the importance of loyalty, the power of alliances, and the ruthlessness of his enemies. It was in these formative years, facing hardship after hardship, that the man who would become Genghis Khan began to take shape. As Temujin grew, so did his reputation. He proved himself a skilled warrior, a cunning strategist, and a charismatic leader who could inspire men to follow him into the heart of danger. Slowly, he began to unite the fractured Mongol tribes, not through brute force alone, but through a combination of diplomacy and decisive military victories. His enemies, often blinded by their own ambition and petty rivalries, underestimated his resolve. They saw only a young upstart, a threat to their own power. They would soon learn the true meaning of underestimation. In 1206, at a gathering of Mongol chieftains, Temujin, having vanquished his enemies and unified the Mongol tribes, was given a new name, Genghis Khan. It was a title that spoke of absolute authority, of a power that stretched as far as the endless steppes themselves. The boy who had once fought for survival was now the undisputed ruler of the Mongols, poised to embark on a campaign of conquest unlike any the world had ever seen. Imagine, if you will, the Mongolian steppe before the rise of Genghis Khan. A patchwork of rival clans, each fiercely independent, locked in a perpetual cycle of raids, vendettas, and bloody conflict. Their loyalties were fluid, alliances shifting like the desert sands, betrayal a constant threat. This was a world where strength was respected and weakness was ruthlessly exploited. A world where survival depended on the sharpness of your blade and the loyalty of your blood brothers. Into this chaotic landscape, Genghis Khan brought a vision of a united Mongolia, a force capable of challenging the mightiest empires. But unifying these disparate tribes, each with their own proud history and bitter grudges, seemed an impossible task. Many had tried and failed, falling victim to the same cycle of violence they sought to end. Genghis Khan, however, possessed a unique blend of strategic brilliance, political acumen, and sheer force of will that set him apart from his predecessors. Genghis Khan understood that true unity could not be achieved through brute force alone. While he was a ruthless warrior, he was also a shrewd diplomat, adept at forging alliances and exploiting the divisions of his enemies. He offered his defeated foes a simple choice: swear loyalty to him and join his growing empire, or face utter destruction. Many, recognizing his strength and fearing his wrath, chose the former. Those who resisted soon learned the price of defiance. Genghis Khan, though known for his brutality, was not driven by senseless cruelty. He saw the potential in the Mongol people, a potential that was being wasted in their endless infighting. He broke with tradition, promoting individuals based on merit rather than lineage. This radical approach fostered a sense of loyalty and camaraderie amongst his followers, who were now bound by shared purpose rather than blood ties. Under his leadership, the Mongol tribes, once a chaotic and divided force, were forged into a single, unstoppable army, united by a common goal and an unwavering belief in their Khan. From the windswept plains of Mongolia, Genghis Khan unleashed a storm that would engulf the world. Under his command, the Mongol Empire grew with astonishing speed. At its zenith, it stretched from the Sea of Japan in the east, all the way to modern-day Poland in the west. Imagine a swathe of land encompassing diverse landscapes, from the icy plains of Siberia to the scorching deserts of Persia. This was the domain of Genghis Khan, an empire twice the size of the Roman Empire at its peak. His conquests were not merely for the sake of power, though ambition surely played a part. He brought together disparate people, cultures, and economies under a single banner. Trade routes flourished, connecting east to west in ways never before seen. The sheer scale of the Mongol Empire is a testament to the strategic genius of its founder and the unwavering loyalty of his warriors. It's a legacy etched across the very landscape of Eurasia, a stark reminder of the power of a single unifying vision. The Mongol army was a force unlike any other. Born in the saddle, these fierce warriors were masters of mounted warfare. Their weapon of choice, the recurved bow, capable of firing arrows with incredible accuracy and devastating power. They moved with the agility of a desert wind, employing lightning-fast raids and strategic retreats to outmaneuver their enemies. Their tactics were adaptable, their discipline unbreakable. They were masters of psychological warfare, their reputation often preceding them, sowing fear and prompting surrender without a single arrow being loosed. Their horses, bred for endurance and speed, were more than just mounts. They were partners in conquest. The Mongols could cover vast distances with remarkable swiftness, appearing at the gates of their enemies before any alarm could be raised. Genghis Khan's military achievements were not simply about brute force. They were a testament to his strategic brilliance, his understanding of logistics, and his ability to inspire unwavering loyalty in his troops. He was a master of innovation, readily adopting new technologies and tactics from conquered peoples, constantly evolving his army into an unstoppable force. In a world dominated by inherited privilege, Genghis Khan dared to challenge the established order. He recognized that true strength lay not in noble bloodlines, but in the character and capability of the individual. This radical notion sent shockwaves through the rigid social structures of the 13th century. No longer were positions of power solely determined by birthright. Genghis Khan's court was a meritocracy, where talent and loyalty were the only currencies that mattered. This approach fostered an atmosphere of fierce competition and unwavering loyalty. Soldiers, strategists, and administrators rose through the ranks based on their achievements, not their ancestry. This created a powerful sense of purpose and ambition within the empire. By breaking the chains of tradition, Genghis Khan unleashed the potential of his people. He harnessed the talents of those who had been overlooked and marginalized, forging a powerful and diverse ruling class that reflected the vastness of his empire. Imagine the impact of this meritocratic system on the morale of his army. A common foot soldier, through courage and cunning in battle, could rise to become a general. A skilled strategist, regardless of his social standing, could find himself advising the Khan himself. This system fostered a deep sense of loyalty, not just to Genghis Khan as a leader, but to the very idea of the empire itself. Soldiers fought not just for their Khan, but for the opportunity to rise within the ranks, to prove their worth on the field of battle. This meritocratic approach also attracted talent from beyond the traditional Mongol tribes. Skilled warriors, scholars, and artisans from conquered lands were welcomed into the fold, their skills and knowledge valued above any cultural or ethnic divides. Genghis Khan's belief in merit over bloodlines transformed a collection of disparate tribes into a unified force. It was a system that rewarded loyalty, encouraged ambition, and ultimately became a cornerstone of the Mongol Empire's astonishing success. Genghis Khan was not simply a conqueror, he was a military innovator, a grand strategist who reshaped the battlefield. He understood that victory was not always achieved through brute force, but often through cunning and deception. One of his most effective tactics was the feigned retreat. The Mongol army would appear to break ranks, seemingly fleeing in disarray. This would often lure the enemy into a deadly trap, a carefully planned ambush where the fleeing Mongols would transform into relentless hunters. He understood the importance of intelligence gathering. His spy networks were vast and efficient, providing him with crucial information about his enemy's strengths, weaknesses, and battle plans. Knowledge, he believed, was as powerful a weapon as any sword. Genghis Khan was also quick to adopt and adapt new technologies from conquered peoples. Siege weaponry, gunpowder, and naval warfare were all incorporated into the Mongol arsenal, making their army a formidable force on land and at sea. Perhaps his most potent weapon was psychological warfare. The Mongols deliberately cultivated a reputation for ruthlessness. Tales of their ferocity spread like wildfire, often preceding them into battle and sowing terror in the hearts of their enemies. This psychological dominance often proved more effective than any siege engine. Entire cities, paralyzed by fear, would surrender without a fight, their defenses crumbling before the might of the approaching Mongol horde. This calculated brutality was not mere bloodlust. Genghis Khan understood that a swift and decisive victory minimized casualties on both sides. By instilling fear, he aimed to break the enemy's will to fight, bringing an end to conflicts quickly and efficiently. His methods were undoubtedly harsh, but they were undeniably effective. Genghis Khan's military innovations, his strategic brilliance, and his mastery of psychological warfare left an indelible mark on the art of war, influencing military thinking for centuries to come. Across the vast landscapes of 13th century Asia, religion was not a unifying force but a landscape of competing faiths. Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, each held sway over different regions, their differences a source of conflict and tension. It was into this world that Genghis Khan rode, his armies a whirlwind of conquest sweeping across borders and toppling empires. One might expect a conqueror like Genghis Khan to impose his own beliefs, to use religion as a tool to solidify his rule. Yet remarkably, Genghis Khan chose a different path. He understood that forcing conversions would only breed resentment and rebellion. Instead, he embraced a radical idea for his time: religious freedom. He declared that all religions were to be tolerated within his empire, their followers free to practice their faith without fear of persecution. This tolerance was not born out of weakness, but out of pragmatism and a deep understanding of human nature. Genghis Khan knew that a content population was easier to govern than a rebellious one. By allowing his subjects to keep their faith, he secured their loyalty and ensured the stability of his empire. He went even further, exempting religious leaders from taxation, a move that earned him the respect and admiration of those he had conquered. This policy of religious tolerance, unheard of in much of the world at that time, was a testament to Genghis Khan's political genius and his ability to see beyond the battlefield. Ruling an empire that spanned continents presented a unique challenge for Genghis Khan. How do you maintain control, coordinate armies, and govern effectively when your territory stretches from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe? The answer lay in communication, in the ability to transmit information quickly and reliably across vast distances. Genghis Khan, ever the innovator, rose to this challenge, creating a system of communication that would become the envy of the world, the yam. Imagine a network of way stations, stretching from the windswept plains of Mongolia to the bustling cities of Persia. At each station, fresh horses awaited, ready to carry messages across the empire at breakneck speed. This was the yam, a relay system of mounted couriers who could cover hundreds of miles in a matter of days, their endurance and speed unmatched. Messages, often written on waterproof parchment, were passed from rider to rider, their contents a closely guarded secret. The yam was more than just a postal system, it was a lifeline for the Mongol Empire, a nervous system that allowed Genghis Khan to maintain control and project his power across his vast domain. The 13th century was a harsh time for women. Across much of the world they were seen as little more than property, their lives controlled by fathers, husbands, or brothers. They were often denied basic rights, subjected to violence and oppression, their voices silenced in a world dominated by men. Yet, amidst this bleak landscape of inequality, a glimmer of hope emerged from the most unlikely of places, the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan, hardened by years of war and conquest, possessed a surprisingly progressive view on the role of women in society. Perhaps influenced by the strong women in his own life, such as his mother and his wife, he understood the value of their contributions. He saw the injustice they faced and resolved to challenge the status quo. He issued decrees throughout his empire, forbidding the kidnapping and selling of women, practices that were all too common at the time. He went further, establishing punishments for those who abused women and granting them the right to own property, a right denied to them in many other societies. In the year 1227, as summer painted the Mongolian steppe in vibrant hues, the reign of Genghis Khan came to an end. He was 65, an age few could claim in that era, and his conquests had reshaped the known world. Yet the circumstances surrounding his demise remained shrouded in mystery, a puzzle lost to the sands of time. Some whispers claim he met his end on the battlefield, struck down in the heat of conflict. Others say a fall from his loyal steed, perhaps during a hunt, proved fatal. One legend even speaks of a vengeful princess, her heart set on retribution, who delivered the final blow. But the truth, like the location of his final resting place, remains elusive. His funeral procession, a vast and solemn serpent winding its way across the plains, is said to have silenced anyone they encountered, burying the secret of his tomb along with his mortal remains. For centuries, historians and archaeologists have sought the tomb of Genghis Khan, driven by the allure of uncovering the secrets buried within. The vastness of the Mongolian landscape, a tapestry woven from rolling hills and endless sky, presents a daunting challenge. Some believe his tomb lies hidden beneath a mountain, protected by natural barriers and ancient curses. Others speculate it rests undisturbed beneath the very ground on which we stand, concealed by the passage of time and the shifting sands. The discovery of Genghis Khan's tomb would be a momentous occasion, a window into the life and death of one of history's most influential figures. It would offer invaluable insights into Mongol burial rituals, potential treasures buried alongside him, and perhaps even clues to the true nature of his passing. Until then, the mystery endures, a testament to the enduring power and enigmatic legacy of Genghis Khan. The legacy of Genghis Khan extends far beyond the borders of his empire, etched not just in stone and song, but also in the very fabric of humanity itself. In 2003, a groundbreaking genetic study sent ripples through the scientific community, revealing a startling discovery. Researchers identified a specific Y chromosome pattern, passed down from father to son, present in an astounding 1 in 200 men alive today. That translates to roughly 16 million individuals across the globe, their lineage converging on a single male ancestor who lived in Mongolia approximately 1,000 years ago. While absolute certainty remains elusive in the realm of ancient genetics, the evidence points overwhelmingly in one direction: Genghis Khan. His relentless drive for expansion, coupled with his legendary virility, appears to have left an indelible mark on the human gene pool. This genetic legacy, spanning continents and cultures, paints a vivid picture of the reach and impact of the Mongol Empire. It's a testament to the power of even unintentional consequences, how a warrior king's ambition could leave a lasting imprint on generations far removed from his time. From the steppes of Mongolia to the bustling cities of the 21st century, the descendants of Genghis Khan walk among us, unknowingly carrying a piece of history within their very cells. They are a living reminder of the interconnectedness of humanity, how the threads of our past are woven into the tapestry of our present. And while the debate surrounding his reign, the brutality alongside the brilliance, continues, there's no denying the undeniable. The blood of Genghis Khan flows through the veins of millions, a silent echo of his world-altering conquests. Genghis Khan was a man of contradictions, a tempestuous blend of ruthless ambition and visionary leadership. He carved a path of destruction across Asia, toppling empires and redrawing borders in blood. Yet, from the ashes of conquest, he forged a new world order, one that fostered trade, religious tolerance, and cultural exchange on an unprecedented scale. He was a force of nature, as unstoppable as a steppe wind, who reshaped the political and social landscape of his time. His empire may have crumbled with the passing centuries, but his legacy endures, etched in the annals of history and the very DNA of millions. Genghis Khan, the boy born Temujin, rose from the harshest of beginnings to leave an indelible mark on the world, a testament to the enduring power of ambition, adaptability, and the enduring impact one man can have on the course of human history. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with a history lover, and subscribe for more epic stories from the past.